tell this story.
It was a year of content lost. All my text messages, everything.
Is Kylie Jenner trying to trap Timothée Chalamet because allegedly he wants to leave her? That's the question ripping through gossip blogs right now, and the story only gets messier the deeper you go. According to one insider, the Kardashian star has started to become noticeably more needy and insecure whenever she's around Timothée. People are whispering that Kylie is acting like she refuses to go through another messy, sweet young romance gone wrong episode, and it is sending the internet into overdrive. Think about it. Over the past few weeks, headlines and fan accounts have been buzzing with claims that Kylie may have actually given the green light for a hit piece against Timothee's biggest fan group.
Videos. So it was a year of content lost. All my text messages, everything. So now I have a new phone. I don't even have a background.
Yes, you heard that right. Imagine trying to protect your romance by allegedly launching a smear campaign against his most loyal supporters. On the surface, it might sound like petty drama, but in reality, this could backfire in ways Kylie might not have anticipated. Here's why. Timothee has always been known as the indie darling who still manages to charm mainstream Hollywood. But a huge part of his power doesn't just come from directors or critics, it comes from his fans. These fan accounts, especially Club Chalamet, rally thousands of people, amplify his projects, and create a whole cultural hype machine around his every move. And Timothee knows it. He has always played nice with them, even going as far as taking pictures with Club Chalamet, despite the fact that they openly clown Kylie, calling her Slurpee and mocking her relationship with him. Now imagine being Kylie, scrolling through Instagram comments at 3 in the morning, seeing strangers tear you apart, while your own boyfriend is posing with the very people fueling the jokes. The whispers say she couldn't take it anymore, and that's when this alleged takedown started brewing. Even the Daily Mail jumped in with a headline so wild it sounded scripted. The dark truth about Club Chalamet, she's a 58-year-old obsessive who hates Kylie Jenner, tracks Timothee's every move, and hides a shady past. The piece painted one of his most loyal supporters as a villain. But let's be real, are we supposed to believe Kylie had nothing to do with that? Please. People always say Kylie looks like she's running empires 24/7, but insiders claim she spends hours scrolling through comments, obsessing over what fans think, especially when they compare her to Timothée. And this is where things get dangerous. Fan bases are territorial. They stalk, they drag, and they organize. If you attack them, they won't just laugh it off. They'll fight back. Just look at what happened to Doja Cat. She cursed out her fans, mocked their loyalty, and in return, some of her biggest fan pages dropped her. The result? Her next album underperformed. Not because the music was bad, but because the fandom pulled back their energy. The same could happen here. Kylie might think she's just silencing trolls, but in reality, she could be sabotaging the very career her relationship depends on. And that's the bigger picture. If Timothee ever connects the dots and realizes Kylie was behind a hit piece targeting his fan base, this romance won't just fizzle out. It could explode in public. Let's talk about Timothee's side of all this, because that's where things get even more complicated. Timothee is not just some indie actor anymore. He may have built his reputation starring in artsy films, but make no mistake, his eyes are firmly set on superstardom. He doesn't just want critical acclaim. He wants the blockbuster roles, the screaming fans at premieres, and the flashing paparazzi cameras tracking his every move. That's why this whole fan-base drama matters so much. Timothee understands better than most that fandoms are the lifeblood of celebrity culture. Directors, producers, and even fashion houses pay attention to how fans rally. They know fan energy translates to box office numbers, sold-out shows, and viral red carpet moments. And Timothee has always been savvy about this. He treats his fans like partners in his career, giving them enough access and acknowledgement to keep their loyalty strong. Now picture Kylie stepping into that equation. Instead of protecting those alliances, she's allegedly undermining them. If she really did authorize that hit piece against Club Chalamet, she wasn't just attacking one obsessive fan. She was targeting the heartbeat of Timothee's entire support system. That's reckless. Because once a fan base feels betrayed, there's no repairing the trust. And here's the kicker. Timothee knows all this. He has gone out of his way to stay cool with Club Chalamet, even when they mocked Kylie. He smiled for photos, played along, and never once denounced them. He understood their influence. Meanwhile, Kylie was allegedly pulling strings behind the scenes to paint the fan club leader as some kind of monster. If that really happened, it means Kylie and Timothee are playing opposite strategies in the exact same game. Then there's the birthday incident, which has everyone talking. When Kylie celebrated her big day, Timothée didn't even show up. Instead, Kylie flooded the press with stories about how thoughtful and sweet he was. But come on, actions speak louder than spin. If your boyfriend skips your birthday, no amount of PR fluff can cover that gap. Fans saw through it immediately, pointing out that if he really cared, he would have hopped on a plane and been there in person. This is where the imbalance in their relationship becomes impossible to ignore. Kylie is fighting tooth and nail to control the narrative, while Timothee seems perfectly fine keeping his distance, staying low-key, and letting her scramble. The gossip mill has started framing Kylie as desperate to hold on to a man who might already be halfway out the door. And let's not forget, this wouldn't be the first time Kylie found herself in this position. People are already comparing this relationship to her dynamic with Tyga back in the day. Back then, she also seemed willing to let her partner dictate the terms, deciding when and how she appeared in public, even to the point of hiding under disguises to move around unnoticed. The whispers say that with Timothee, the pattern looks eerily similar. So, while Kylie may be gaining publicity and access to high-fashion circles through this romance, the cracks are showing. If the fan base war escalates and Timothee realizes his career is at stake, Kylie could lose both the boyfriend and the image boost that comes with him. Here's where the Kardashian playbook comes into focus, and honestly, it's impossible not to see Kris Jenner's fingerprints all over this. The Kardashian-Jenner empire has always thrived on narrative control. If there's a scandal, they spin it. If there's a breakup, they flip it into a storyline. And if one of them looks desperate in public, well, Kris finds a way to turn that desperation into magazine covers and viral clips. It's the machine they've built, and Kylie is running straight through it right now. But here's the problem. This time the stakes feel different. Unlike Kim or Khloe, Kylie doesn't have the same ride-or-die fan base built around her personality. Her brand was born out of beauty products and billionaire headlines, not years of letting fans into her private life. That means when she leans too hard into a storyline like flying across the globe to chase Timothee, people don't see romance. They see strategy. They see a woman trying to preserve her image through a relationship that looks one-sided. And that's where this whole patriarchy princess conversation comes in. A lot of critics are starting to point out how Kylie, despite her money and fame, keeps falling back into old-school dynamics. Instead of standing firm as a powerful businesswoman who doesn't need anyone, she's bending herself into knots to fit the mold of supportive girlfriend. Think about it. She's disguising herself in airports, sneaking around to see Timothee, and carefully dropping stories to the press to make sure nobody thinks he's pulling away. That's not independence. That's submission dressed up as PR. Some even argue that this makes her the ultimate patriarchal princess. She's playing the role of a modern-day Cinderella, except instead of glass slippers, she's carrying a Hermes Birkin bag. And instead of a Prince Charming lifting her up, she's the one propping up his image, making sure he looks like the unattainable star while she takes the hits online. The irony is brutal. Kylie once branded herself as the self-made billionaire, the woman who didn't need a man to secure her empire, but now, she's literally chasing after Timothee, fighting fan clubs, and pushing narratives that make her look dependent on his affection. Fans are noticing, and the conversations online aren't flattering. There's also the long shadow of history here. Every time a Kardashian or Jenner ties themselves to a man, the relationship becomes a bargaining chip in the larger family brand. Kim with Kanye, Khloe with Tristan, Kourtney with Scott, the pattern is always the same. The man gets framed as the flawed, chaotic one, while the sister fights to hold it all together. But Kylie's situation flips that dynamic. Right now, she's the one being painted as erratic, insecure, and a little bit messy, while Timothee comes off calm, cool, and collected. That's not a good look for her, and Kris knows it. So, what happens next? If Kylie continues down this road, she risks becoming a supporting character in her own story. The billionaire beauty mogul reduced to the girlfriend, orbiting around a man who hasn't even proven he's as invested as She Island. And let's be real, Hollywood doesn't reward women who play that role for long. And here's where things get even more complicated, because the internet never forgets. Fans have long memories, and they're connecting Kylie's current behavior to past scandals. They remember how she handled the Jordan Woods fallout, how she tried to control the narrative around her pregnancy with Stormi, and even how she navigated Travis Scott's Astroworld disaster. Each time, Kylie leaned on silence, control, or carefully crafted statements. But the lost phone in the river story feels like a new level of damage control, and people are sensing that desperation from a mile away. The skepticism only grows when you look at the timing. Timothee's career is skyrocketing. He's doing high-prestige films, endorsements, and red carpet appearances that cement his reputation as Hollywood's golden boy. Kylie, meanwhile, has seen her public image stagnate. Her beauty empire is still massive, but the hype doesn't hit like it once did. The youngest billionaire storyline doesn't make waves anymore, and in the influencer space, new names are constantly popping up. So when people see her sprinting across Europe to hold on to Timothee, they don't just see a romance. They see a power play. They see a woman terrified of becoming irrelevant. But here's the danger. If Kylie keeps pushing the "I'll do anything to keep him" narrative, she risks alienating her base. Fans who once admired her for her independence and boldness are now mocking her. Memes about the Hungarian River slip-up, jokes about her pretending iCloud doesn't exist, and side-eyes about her desperation are already spreading like wildfire. For someone who built her empire on controlling aesthetics and appearances, losing control of the meme cycle is devastating. Then there's the looming trial connection. If Kylie does get pulled into Megan Thee Stallion's defamation case as a witness, she won't be able to spin or control that moment. In a courtroom, there are no "oops, lost my phone" excuses that fly without scrutiny. She'd have to answer questions directly, and the whole world would be watching. For Kylie, who has mastered the art of avoidance, that's a nightmare scenario. At the same time, you can't ignore Kris Jenner's ability to flip chaos into opportunity. If Kylie does end up testifying, or even just being linked to the case more directly, don't be surprised if it magically becomes part of a Hulu storyline. The Kardashian Jenners have always been masters at turning their worst days into their most profitable ones. Still, the optics are messy. Kylie is balancing motherhood, business, a high-profile romance, and now whispers about cover-ups in courtrooms. If she doesn't handle it carefully, she could end up losing control of the narrative completely, and once that happens, even Kris might not be able to save the storyline. So, what's the takeaway? Kylie Jenner is either playing a very clever long game turning rumors and chaos into publicity, or she's spiraling under the weight of her own insecurities. Either way, fans aren't looking away, and every misstep is being documented, memed, and dissected. And that's why this story matters. Because when it comes to the Kardashians and Jenners, nothing is ever as simple as it seems. The lost phone isn't just about a device, it's about control, image, and survival in a world that eats stars alive the moment they slip. All right, that's the latest on Kylie Jenner and the lost phone drama. What do you think? Is this an innocent accident or a clever cover-up? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you're thirsty for more celebrity tea, and don't forget to subscribe to Hot Sip for your daily dose of Hollywood gossip. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a spill, because here at Hot Sip, we bring you the hottest stories first. See you in the next one!